Good morning and welcome to the forum. I'm Jay Randall Harvey, and we're fortunate to have Danna Taylor on the telephone with us this morning, the president of the South Arkansas Regional Hospital. How you doing this morning?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Well, good deal. It's been a day or two since we've spoken, and I know the last time that we had a quick chat, you had just taken over. Is that the right title? Is it?
Yes, I'm the president of the hospital. When the hospital transitioned from Medical Center of South Arkansas to South Arkansas Regional Hospital back in July of 23, I was named interim, and then I took the permanent president position in November.
Well, congratulations on that, and
Thank you.
that's great. So how the transition? I mean, we're going from the as you mentioned the medical center to the the privately owned area owned hospital, and things have been going well for you.
Yes, it's going great. There's lots of positive energy. I love to hear feedback from patients that have received services recently and just tell me that they can feel a difference in the air. It's a lot of work because there's so much we want to do to improve and be better for our patients, better for our staff, better for the providers that refer patients. But we just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, that's really all you can do. So the response from the community to the change of the hospital, you know, I I guess in a hospital setting, there's always going to be some people who wish they could have got this or got that, but it seems like there's been a lot of positive response, and I guess that's the kind of response you're getting also.
Yes, of course, most people don't choose to come to the hospital. They're typically here when
Yeah.
something is not right. So we just want to make that experience the best we can, no matter what they're dealing with, whether it's an emergency situation or maybe some testing to confirm a unfavorable diagnosis. We don't want to make that worse. We want to make sure that our staff from the front door all the way through is pleasant and accommodating to the best of our ability. And then I encourage people, if you don't have a positive experience, I want you to reach out to me because I don't know how to improve things unless I can hear from our customers to know that we didn't meet their needs. So we welcome feedback all the time. We want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly because this is a community hospital. We want to ensure we're meeting the needs of our community.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct. You don't really choose to go to the hospital necessarily, and when you get there, you don't feel well, and even if somebody's really nice to you, sometimes it just doesn't seem that way because of the way you
Right,
feel.
right.
So you mentioned, there's so many things that the hospital would like to do, and I guess that would mean some expansion in services or something. Is anything in particular that the hospital is looking at going forward with?
Of course. I mean, I have big dreams, but we've gotten to do some things so far that, even the public doesn't necessarily care about. But we got a new chiller, and believe me, the machinery it takes to cool this building is not cheap. But in our
Yeah.
August heat, it's important that that's working properly. We've gotten a new nurse call system on our fourth floor, which is new code blue button. So staff just hit the button on the wall to call for help. We have a new infant security system in our women's center. We have other things in the future. We did our first robotic surgery. I didn't, but the staff did the first robotic assisted surgery today. Went well. We have plans to install a new cath lab. We're recruiting cardiologists to the area. That is something we're really focused on cardiology care because patients that need care don't really have time to get 2 hours away. So cardiology is a big focus. We've made upgrades to our radiology equipment with more planned in the year 2025. So there's a lot of positive things going on from equipment to we're hoping to maybe in the future remodel some areas, help patients find their way a little better. So all positive. I've just got to pace myself and do it one step at a time.
That's right. And I was going to ask about how the search is going for specialists. There's, and it's certainly South Arkansas Regional Hospital is not unique to the issue of, sometimes it's hard to get specialists, especially in smaller towns. And you mentioned like cardiologists, but those searches are going well, I presume.
Yes. So our collaboration with UAMS is positive in that regard. Also, healthcare is in a different time than most people expect. So people that aren't in the industry assume that hospitals just make loads of money and, but it's really actually a time where the cost of providing care is very high, just like your groceries have inflated. Our cost has increased greatly, but our reimbursement from insurance companies has not increased. So we are having to figure out how to do more, but, the cost or the reimbursement stay the same. And so in a time where many healthcare facilities are cutting back services, we've seen across the state, many hospitals are choosing to not deliver babies anymore because it does cost. It's a high-risk situation, and so we're seeing maternal deserts across the state. So in a time where other facilities are not spending, not reinvesting, we're grateful that we have a local board of directors who believes in the mission of our hospital, who believes that a community hospital is very important to the community, not just for health care, but for economic development and growth. And so they are investing in the hospital. They are improving the facilities, the equipment, so that we can be more competitive to attract the right physicians and providers and staff. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, having a big company over you is a good thing because of the resources. But I think also, like you mentioned, having, local people, they know exactly what you need and how to make that work. So staffing issues. I know when COVID came around, that's been a big issue for a lot of companies. Hospitals was, of course, we're having issues with that. So how's the staffing now?
We're good. We saw an increase in interest in working here when the hospital changed names. So that's positive. Our CNO that is with us, she's been with us a little over 2 years, and in that time she has almost completely reduced our dependence on contract labor, meaning we're not using a contractor to bring in a travel nurse that may make triple of what our current staff are making, because that negatively impacts the morale. So Amber has worked hard to eliminate contract labor. We have just a few positions throughout the hospital in super specialized areas like the cath lab. But what we're seeing now, we were pretty close to being staffed, and then we've seen this increase in our census, which means how many patients we have. And so that's got a need for us to hire more nurses. So we have several RN positions posted for different departments. Sign-on bonuses are offered because we want to make sure that staff is not the limiting factor for being able to take care of patients close to home. So we are experiencing growing pains in that area, but we are working to retain the staff we have and recruit new staff so that we can grow.
What about the, I know the South Arkansas Regional Hospital took on a different part, with the hospice, with the hospice house closed. Is that going well at this time?
Yeah, it is. And I served on the Life Touch Hospice Board for years, so I understand what that meant to the community. I experienced personal loss there, so I understand how the community felt when that facility closed. However, that was a direct reflection of how healthcare reimbursement has changed. they just don't, you don't, you have to meet a certain criteria to receive hospice care in inpatient. So we have 2 dedicated hospice areas on our 4th floor. And each room has a patient room and a family room, and a family room has a couch and a fridge and things to try to keep the patient or the families comfortable. So we're really excited to be able to partner with Arkansas Hospice to provide that, to make it as easy as possible on families and the patient as they're, nearing end of life. And visitors are unlimited. So that has really gone well, and I think the families that have utilized that program have been pleased.
Well, that's absolutely great. Now let's talk about some other good news too, and that is, of course, big news is that the FDA cleared the 5th generation robotic system, the Da Vinci 5. Now you mentioned you did the first surgery already with that, and this is, if I understand this correctly, it's cutting edge, if you'll pardon the pun. It's cutting edge technology, kind of like you see in the hospitals on TV and stuff, where it's, up to the moment technology where it assists the doctors robotically, correct?
That is correct. So Dr. Thomas Kennedy is a general surgeon in town that trained on robotics. So it was very important. We wanted to keep him in the community long term. This is the future of surgery, and so we wanted to offer this in our community. Again, our mission is keeping that care close to home. So not only can this be used for general surgery procedures, but also for urological. And then in the future, we hope to expand the services that are offered. But it is a robotic-assisted surgery, so it's not a unmanned robot in there doing it. The physician actually sits at a console similar to a video game and is able to see and navigate more precisely using some little kind of joysticks to maneuver the robot. It's more precise. It's less trauma on the patient. So it's to promote a faster healing and recovery period to get people back to work or back to their daily lives. So we're very excited that we could bring this here, and excited about where this will, take us in the future. So
yeah, it sounds great.
Very positive.
Yeah, there were, and I think I read, maybe it was in the paper or something, that there's only like a few of these things available at this time, right?
Yes, so Da Vinci robotic-assisted surgery is not new, but this Da Vinci 5, the newest model, we're the second in the state. Jonesboro had the first one.
Wow.
We're the first in the state for robotic-assisted surgery near us. It's just not offered.
That's kind of amazing. It's really, if I was reading up on it a little bit, it's got the next generation 3D display, image processing, force sensing technology, first of its kind, and it's well, as you say, it's an upgrade to the things. And these things, as you say, they're not new. They've been around the world. They've more than 7 million procedures with these, and but this particular version, the latest and latest and greatest, and that's fabulous that you guys got that. That's great, and that's good for the patient because it's very precise, and it just sounds like a lot of great news going on at South Arkansas Regional Hospital, and hopefully we can keep all this going, and like you mentioned, if somebody has issues with the way things happen, then they can always get in touch with you and
of course,
see if we can get it cleared up. But like you say, you usually when you're in the hospital, it's not because you want to be there, you don't feel good, etc. So yeah, things are not always what they seem when you're in there. But Danna, we thank you so much for the 15 minutes this morning. It's amazing how fast time goes by. And we'll get back with you again soon because I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot more new technological and other advances that come up that South Arkansas Regional Hospital will have.
Of course. Well, thank you for your time today. And listeners can keep track of us on Facebook to see what's going on at the hospital.